Sergio Perez will lead the Formula One World Championship for the first time in his career if he wins this weekend's Miami Grand Prix, and many in the paddock believe such a victory would instigate a title challenge. Perez has already won 2 of the first 4 Grand Prix of the season, winning from pole in Jeddah and on the sprint weekend in Baku last weekend. As it stands, he is just 6 points behind championship leader and reigning champion Max Verstappen, his Red Bull Racing teammate. Last year, Perez finished the season 149 points behind Verstappen. However, Jenson Button, the 2009 F1 world champion, believes his former McLaren teammate is in better shape in 2023. "I am really impressed with Sergio. Max, he has to be the toughest teammate because he just gets out there and gets it done in terms of his speed," said Button. "I think Perez did a really good job at the weekend, and back-to-back wins, if you like, with the sprint race and the main event. That will give him a lot of confidence. I think we are only going to really know when we go to the next race, kind of a street race as well. If he could pull out a win there, that would be a massive deal for him. And I think that would give him confidence for the season." Regardless of how far Perez has come, beating Verstappen on even his worst days is a monumental task. And as team boss Christian Horner pointed out in the aftermath of Perez's latest victory, there is still a question mark over Perez's title ambitions that he must answer in the coming races. Perez, of course, benefited from Verstappen's mistake in qualifying in Jeddah, which gave him a golden opportunity to win the race. But he also held off a charging Verstappen in the second half of the race to secure the victory. He then returned in style after a difficult few days in Melbourne, where he was fortunate to walk away with 11 points, given where he was running prior to the restart. Then he won both the sprint and Grand Prix races in Baku. The safety car intervention aided Verstappen's Grand Prix victory, but Perez took full advantage of it, and part of the reason Verstappen had to make his ill-timed pit stop in the first place, just before the safety car, was the intense pressure that Perez was putting on him. So Perez's 2 victories have plenty of credibility, but they haven't answered the fundamental question that will determine the existence of a title push. "I think he just needs to do it at a normal track now," Horner said after the race. "So he's excelled at street circuits. All his victories for us have been on street tracks. Second time he's won here, one in Singapore, one in Monaco, one in Jeddah. Just need to get him going at the proper circuits too." Perez's street race king moniker is even slightly deceptive, at least in comparison to Verstappen. While Perez has outqualified Verstappen 7-5 on street tracks and has 5 wins to Verstappen's 4 during their time at Red Bull, there are a number of extenuating circumstances that favor Verstappen. Yes, Perez is a better match for Verstappen and has a better chance of beating him on street circuits than on more traditional ones. But he's far from certain to win more races this year in places like Miami, Monaco, and Singapore. After all, he lost out in Miami last year. His Monaco victory was aided by his controversial qualifying crash. And Verstappen would have destroyed Perez's Singapore qualifying time if he hadn't been underfueled. Perez's street circuit prowess at least allows him to compete with and beat Verstappen when things go right. But at proper circuits, as Horner puts it, it's a different story. Except for races where Verstappen's Red Bull was damaged or retired, there isn't a valid example of Perez ever convincingly beating Verstappen on a non-street circuit. Imola 2021 is the only time Perez has outqualified Verstappen at a conventional track, and that's problematic for his title chances. Nonetheless, there are some areas where Perez clearly has an advantage, as demonstrated in Baku. Perez has long been praised for his handling of the tires, with F1 boss-turned-pundit Peter Windsor claiming the Mexican's performance in the 90-degree corners of Baku's first sector, where he could match Verstappen's time while asking less of the tires, thereby preserving his rubber for the rest of the lap, was crucial to his victory. And with Perez establishing himself as a street circuit specialist, winning in Baku, Monaco, Jeddah, and Singapore for Red Bull, Windsor has compared Verstappen's situation to that of Vettel, who retired from F1 at the end of last season. Vettel won 4 consecutive titles with Red Bull between 2010 and 2013, but left the team at the end of the 2014 season after being outperformed by newly promoted teammate Daniel Ricciardo. Windsor believes Vettel's success prevented him from being more introspective in the aftermath of his defeat to Ricciardo, and he sees similar signs in Verstappen, following the warning sign of Perez's victory in Monaco a year ago. He stated on his YouTube channel, "Max got beaten in Baku because of his inferior technique on traction corners, where there are long straights afterward to reward perfect traction. That's how he got beaten. So that's an area where he needs to improve, as I've been saying since Monaco last year. I always said it was going to be interesting by the time we got to Baku to see if he was a different driver in that respect. And he hasn't improved. I think there's going to be a question about that. I think it's the Sebastian Vettel syndrome. When the writing was on the wall at Red Bull that he wasn't doing as good a job as Daniel Ricciardo, he just left and went to Ferrari and didn't work on the areas where he needed to. If he had really looked deeply and just assumed that going to Ferrari as a 4-time world champion because he could do no wrong would result in 4 more world championships. I think it's the same with Max. I think Max probably thinks now, there's no way I can be learning anything from Sergio Perez. And if he wanted to, and he really got down to it, I'm sure he could improve. He's got enough talent and enough ability to be self-critical to do that. But I think the way Formula One is now, it's just like, wait for the next race, it'll be different. If he hasn't changed between Monaco and Baku this year, it ain't gonna change before Monaco this year, is it? Or Singapore, probably. Perez has shown he's ready to grab it with both hands in both Jeddah and Baku, but he'll face a more difficult task if non-street tracks dominate the calendar and if errant weekends like Melbourne continue to bleed points. Perez will be free to race Verstappen as long as Red Bull maintains its advantage. But if, and that is a huge if right now, Red Bull's advantage is significantly reduced by Ferrari, Mercedes, or Aston Martin in 2023. That policy may change, as Horner has already admitted. With Red Bull's margin, Perez has a chance now, but only if he can improve on every type of circuit. But whichever side of the fence you're on, Perez's performance and current point total deserve to be treated on their own merits. His challenge to Verstappen taken seriously until it is no longer. After all, a third victory in Miami would put him in command of the championship. Of course, there are 18 races after that, but in a season where reliability could be crucial, that could be why Perez is facing his toughest test yet in Miami, a race he mentioned specifically after crossing the finish line in Baku. Momentum is a powerful force in sports, and Perez will need to capitalize on the platform his Baku victory has provided at a circuit where Verstappen was the dominant winner a year ago. And with the RB19 holding such a commanding lead over the competition, Perez may be in a position to do to Verstappen what Nico Rosberg did to Lewis Hamilton back in 2016. However, things could get heated in Miami as weather forecasts predict a coin toss for rain on Sunday. This could give Max Verstappen the upper hand. The Dutchman has repeatedly demonstrated that he is a beast in wet races, as evidenced by his performance at the 2016 Brazilian Grand Prix. But Perez is no slouch in difficult conditions either, having defeated Verstappen in a rain-soaked Singapore Grand Prix last season. One factor to consider is that rain increases the likelihood of mistakes occurring and also punishes mistakes more severely. This means that if rain does fall, the 2 Red Bull drivers will have to be at their best, which could make for an exciting duel in Miami. But what are your thoughts? Is Sergio Perez the favorite going into the Miami Grand Prix? Will he use his momentum to challenge Max Verstappen for the title? And will any team be able to catch the Red Bulls this season? Make sure you let us know in the comments down below. Thank you for tuning in. If you enjoyed the video, please like, subscribe, and click the bell icon to be notified when we upload new videos. And if you want to learn more about the Formula One world, why not watch this video right now? Enjoy!